Hello, this is Mark Maloney, and welcome to the first video for our PowerPoint eCourse. I am, of course, with Speak to Emotion. Today's course is really basic stuff. Some of us haven't looked at PowerPoint in 10 years or more, so I am going to show you PowerPoint on a Mac. 2007 is what we're doing. So I click that. I just want to take this from the very beginning, File, New Presentation, and this is what you get. You have one of my old presentations up there. Right across the board, and again, if you're familiar with this, don't worry about it. You can skip this video and go to number 2. So new slideshow, it looks like this. We already have a new one open. Templates. We talked about this in the text. I think these tend to limit your creativity. The idea is to give you a consistent, colorful background, but we don't always want the same colorful background. You can mess with these to suit yourself. I still would say for the purpose of this course, do not use these. You spent all of that time storyboarding your slides so they would look creative. And now you're going to turn around and do cookie cutter. Not something I agree with. This is just, of course, open, familiar Windows buttons, save, print, cut, copy, paste, format. Let me put something in here. Here's where people really go wrong. They go with this standard slide of title and then subtitle. And already people are starting to fall asleep. It's very boring, it's very dull. Although I would point out that even whatever you think of these, you can still move these around a little bit. Left justify it. You don't have to follow, even if you're in the cookie cutter, you can still move it around a little bit, change your subtitles. Just change the way everything looks, move it around. You're not locked in. This is where people, I think, have their biggest problem is they get locked in to the cookie cutter. Don't do that. Now here again are our great friend, undo. So we're going to undo that. We're going to undo that. You can undo, go back and undo as much as you want until it looks the way you did. And then if you wanted to, of course, redo. If you change your mind, you can do that. Toolbox, take a quick look at this. It starts off with this animation order. Right now, I'm going to tell you don't use this. Do you want people looking at the flying things on your screen, or do you want them looking at your message? Scrapbook, about what you'd expect from some stuff like Pinterest or whatever. You can post your pictures in here. If you know there's a set group of pictures you storyboarded and you say, hey, I just want them handy so I can sort of drag them over here. This stack of books up here, that's what I think of as the real tools. There's your thesaurus, your dictionary, bilingual dictionary, and translation. I am going to tell you right now, be careful. Before you go on stage with any of this stuff, please have a native speaker look at it for you. I don't even know why that's not even working. It's not even going in there. It does all of these, but as you'll hear in the text as we get later on, I've had some embarrassing situations with this. Let's close translation. If you're going to do it, keep it to 1 or 2 or 3 words. Don't do anything with any syntax to it. Web search, if you're too lazy to look on the internet, open up your browser, go ahead. Settings over here, PowerPoint things, compatibility, make it compatible with 2011. Everything from 97 to 2011 goes on here. This little flip thing, don't worry about it. Close effect for this and that. Don't worry about that show you it there. So this is our typical home. You have your settings of bold, italic, underline, font size, and if you remember, we want to keep that font size at a minimum of 24, preferably much larger. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory. Left justify, right justify. This is the same as Word. Insert text, insert picture, insert a shape, insert a movie or audio file. Arrange allows you to adjust objects on the screen. This is good for sometimes you put two pictures on the screen and you want to change which one's in the front of the other one. Quick styles. I wouldn't go overboard with these. I'm going to show you one time when we're going to use them. And of course you have your background fills. If you go to your slideshow and play, it gives you different views. I did point on here the presenter view down here. Presenter view gives you the ability, again, to look on your screen and see what your notes are. Sorry about that. Let me do that again. So that way, if you're playing it, you can see your notes that you're writing. The audience does not. They will just see the slide. Pretty slick stuff. So just to do a quick recap here, we covered all of our buttons and tools on here. On the top, the basic ones. Next week, we're going to get into the more serious stuff, but I hope this was a good review for those of you who haven't looked at PowerPoint in a long time. If you have looked at it in a while, you know this isn't necessary for you to go over. Watch out for these things. Ooh, the bullet points of PowerPoint. Anyway, that's the end of this week. Please work on your homework. Our takeaway this week, less is more. Don't use cookie cutter templates. You spend all of that time storyboarding, so we're going to want to use mostly blank slides so you can put your brilliant creative ideas on the storyboard. See you next week.